Hello my dear children, welcome back to our basic science class. In this fifth part of our class, we are going to learn about different category of plants. Before that, let's quickly revise our previous sessions. My dear children, say the difference between photosynthesis and respiration in plants. Yes, first point, photosynthesis takes place only at daytime, while respiration takes place at day and night. Second difference, in photosynthesis, plants absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen. But during respiration, they absorb oxygen and release carbon dioxide just like humans and animals. Hope you all have studied everything, don't you? Okay, let's start today's session. Is there anyone who doesn't see orchid plants? Maybe no. Orchids are nurtured in coconut fibers. Vanda is a common type of orchid seen in our locality. Look at the picture. Observe its thick roots. These roots have certain peculiarities. They can absorb moisture from the atmosphere. This is why these plants can grow even without soil. These plants depend on other plants only for shelter. Such plants are called epiphytes. So, orchids are belonging to the category of epiphytes. What is epiphytes? Epiphytes are plants that depend on other plants only for shelter. They absorb moisture from atmosphere. So these plants can grow even without soil. The presence of epiphytes does not make any harmful effect to its host plant. Host plant means the plant on which epiphytes grows. Example of epiphyte is Vanda. Epiphytes are very poor, aren't they? They only need shelter from other plants. But there are some other plants, they stole food and water from their host plants. Let's check who are they. Haven't you seen the loranthus that grows on the mango tree? Is the growth of loranthus on the mango tree beneficial? Yes, you are right. It is not beneficial. It is harmful to the mango tree. Even though loranthus has leaves and roots, it prepares food absorbing water and minerals from the host plant. Do you know this good smelling sandalwood tree is also belonging to this category? So, these type of plants that absorb water and minerals from the host plant and prepare their own food with the help of their own leaves are called as partial parasites, or otherwise called as semi-parasites. Examples of semi-parasites are loranthus and sandalwood. Once again, what is semi-parasites? Plants that absorb water and minerals from the host plant and prepare their own food with the help of their leaves are known as semi-parasites. Example, loranthus and sandalwood. Have you ever seen cuscuta? A light yellowish green climber which is spread over a plant like this in the video. Don't you know this flower? The largest flower in the world. Yes, you are right. It is Rafflesia. Cuscuta and Rafflesia are plants that absorb food directly from the plant on which they live. They are too lazy, so that they did not prepare food for themselves. So, such type of plants are called as total parasites. Once again, what is total parasites? Plants that absorbs food directly from the host plant. It is also very much harmful to the host plant. Examples of total parasites are Cuscuta and Rafflesia. Children, today we have studied about epiphytes and parasitic plants. We have seen that parasitic plants has two divisions, semi-parasites and total parasites. Now let us see another type. Look at the plants in the picture. Neotia and Monotropa. These plants grow absorbing nutrients from decomposed matter. Decomposed matter means dead and decayed matter. Such plants, those grows by absorbing nutrients from decomposed matters, are called saprophytes. Once again, what are saprophytes? Plants that grows by absorbing nutrients from decomposed matters are called saprophytes. Examples of saprophytes are Monotropa and Neotia. Children, you may have seen these type of fungi growing on bread and pickle, etc. These are also saprophytes. You know, fungi do not belong to the group of plants. Mushrooms popping up like umbrellas are familiar sights, most commonly in rainy seasons. They also belong to the group of fungi. We have been talking about plants that depend on other plants for food and shelter. Now, let's look at the peculiarities of these plants in our vegetable garden. Haven't you seen the spring-like parts in the bitter gourd vine? What are they for? These are called tendrils. These plants have weak stems, right? So, they need a support. These tendrils will help the plant to do this. These type of plants are called climbers. So, what are climbers? Climbers are weak-stemmed plants. They climb on other plants with the support of spring-like parts called tendrils. Some plants have clinging roots for this purpose. One of such plant having clinging root is money plant. Look, you can see clinging roots in this picture. Other examples of climbers are pepper, bitter gourd and snake gourd. Have you ever seen some plants that grow creeping on the ground? Don't they also have weak stems? Yes, they are also weak-stemmed plants and they are commonly called creepers. So, what are creepers? Weak-stemmed plants that grow creeping on the ground are called creepers. Sweet potato, hydrocotyle, strawberry, etc. are examples. These plants do not possess tendrils or clinging roots just like climbers. So, my dear children, you must observe the creepers and climbers seen around us and try to classify them in your rough book. Okay? Now, let us recall the main points that we have learned today as first point, epiphytes. Second one, parasites. Parasites are again classified into two, semi-parasites and total parasites. Third one, saprophytes. Next one, climbers. And the last one, creepers. Children, today's notes are coming soon after this video. You should study all the question answers thoroughly, okay? Thank you.